Hello! Thanks for making our time once again this week. It's always a pleasure to have you here. T-Mac is still my name, and this is DLI Channel. DLI stands for Development, Empowerment and Leadership Initiative. And our vision, world transformation, one man at a time, one community at a time. If you have been following the channel, we recently moved to a series that we call the Made Simple series. And a subset of that, the Career Made Simple, is what we've been working on. Last week, we spoke about how do you prepare a compelling cover letter or a compelling curriculum vitae that will stand you out when you apply for a job. Now, this week, we want to move it a step further to say, just imagine your phone rings or you got a beep of a message and you checked it and it's an invitation to an interview. What do you do? How do you go about making sure that you give yourself a fighting chance to be that candidate that employer is going to hire? That is what this week is all about. But before I go into the details, it is necessary for me to explain to you that there is a shift going on in the recruitment process right now, and you need to be aware of the two movements. In the traditional recruitment process, it's on the applicant to know about the company, to know about the job, to find out everything they can about the interview process so that they can come prepared and show that they are prepared, they are diligent, and they are ready. But of recent, there has been a shift in that movement. Why? Talents are getting more scarce every day, and so employers now are becoming like suitors, courting brides, searching for the talents and going out of their way to impress them. I have heard of interview processes where potential candidates are flown in private jets. They are taken on to very exotic places to go and interview simply to impress that candidate to join the organization. And you may not know which one the company you are going for is applying, particularly because it is not just about the company policy or philosophy. It is also sometimes about the orientation of the person you are interviewing with. So you need to be aware of these two movements. But irrespective of the one you are going through, there are certain things you can never go wrong on. And that is what I would like to quickly share with you. Number one is be prepared. You can never go wrong with being prepared. Even if the recruiting company or the potential employer is not putting any emphasis on how much do you know our company, how much do you know our job, if you know about the company, if you know about the job, you are in a better position to engage the interviewer. You know what to watch out for, you know what commitments to get, you know what promise to extract, you know what kind of demands to make because you are informed. If you go in blind, you may think you are getting a good deal only for you to get in and realize that you have actually shortchanged yourself. So the first thing is you have to be prepared. The second is that the dressing is important. Now, so the second point I'm making is dress appropriately. The dress code, believe me, is completely changing. These days, I have seen some accountants go for interview in shirt and trousers, no tie, no jacket. In my time, it's an abomination. It's a taboo. In fact, you walk in and they say, "What are you here for?" And you say you are here for an interview. Once they look at you, that's the end. They probably will just hurry you through the process and discharge you so they don't want to be rude. But these days, what do you see? People go to interview in jeans. People go to interview in t-shirts. For some organization, this is acceptable. But it's always good to find that middle ground where you are not overdressed, but you are also not so casual that the interviewer is wondering, what does this guy think that we are here for? And for the ladies, it is not a time to be reckless. It is not a time to be extreme. It's always good to find something in the in-between, something you are comfortable with, something that will not give you any impression or will not give any impression of you that you do not want to communicate to your employer. So the dressing is important. You need to dress appropriately. Number 3, in our time, they will tell us you need to have gone to that place the day before, so you know how to get there. You have an idea of how many buses to take, how long will it take a car to get you there. These days, you now find employers, they will send you a detailed guide, direction guide. Stop here, turn here, ask here. Even in these days of Uber, everything is possible. Just put in wherever you are going and it guides you there. But it is still necessary to take note of this third point, which is be on time. It does not matter how it runs. It does not matter the philosophy they run. If you are on time, you are communicating to your potential employer that you are responsible and that you can be relied upon, that you are diligent, that you know the value of time. It is never ever excusable, no matter how plausible your excuse can be, to go late for an interview. So whatever you need to do your best to be on time. And if you find yourself running late unavoidably, another point of responsibility is to reach out to the person you've been liaising with to say, I'm stuck in traffic, I got a car breakdown, I lost my way, whatever happened, and I will be late. It is a powerful message to say you are not only responsible, you are accountable. But the fourth point is the biggest for me, and that is an interview. It is not an opportunity to tell. It is an opportunity to sell. Yes, I'm not just playing with words. Tell and sell. Many of you go to interview and you are cringing. Usually the first question is, can we meet you? And then just fly off on an angle, tell about the local government, about the state, about the country, about how there are 5 or 7 children, and they go. That is not what the interview is all about. When you go for an interview, you are like a salesperson. You are selling a product. What is that product? You. You are the chief marketing officer of your own product. If you can't sell it in a compelling manner, why should anybody buy it? So when you go to the interview, remember you are going to sell. That's why you are early. That's why you are knowledgeable. That's why you have dressed properly. But the last mile comes from how do you pitch yourself. Meaning every opportunity you have, you should not be telling them what they already have on the CV. Most interviewers will have gone through the CVs before you walk in. Tell them those things that stand you out. If you have done your research about the company, about the job, you have the ammunition to use. Tell them what you've done that confirms that, because usually when you go for an interview and you are selling, the recruiter or the interviewer is looking for evidence of what you've done in the past. So when you are answering questions, whatever relevant history you have, whatever relevant work experience you have, bring it handy. Oh, like when I was in this job, I have this responsibility, it required this of me, and this is how I did, and this kind of commission I got. Tell your story. Sell your brand. Sell your brand. Don't go there and be repeating the things that are very obvious, because all you probably have is like 30 minutes, max 1 hour. If you miss it, and somebody comes in after you or before you that does a better job of selling him or herself, even if they are not as good as you, you may be passed over. So, there's a lot to talk about in interview, and if there are questions you have, send it to me. I'll be glad to help you. But it's a critical step in the career track that if you know how to pitch and sell yourself properly in interview, you will not be looking for where to work, because you will just be in hot demand. And if you can back that up with productive work, you will be a talent, which is another conversation we are going to have sometime down the line. I've gone a bit long-winded today, but forgive me because there are certain things we need to cover properly. So I got to go now. Next week, we'll move it again to the next bus stop, all in the name of helping you prepare for that career track that you have decided to travel on at this time, so that you too can start living the dream. Subscribe to the channel and feel free to share your comment with us, and we will be glad to respond to you. T-Mac is still my name, and all I'm trying to do is what? Make a little difference. Thank you, and see you next week. Bye.